Ryan Zaknich from 2 Feet and a Heartbeat. Now, I actually was involved for several years with the WA Tourism Awards, and these guys just were always picking up awards, and I think they were 2014 Hall of Fame inductees, and so there's tours all around Perth and Fremantle. So, look, it's just gold medal winners and, for successive years. So it's been a fantastic achievement and such a simple idea when you think about it. 2 Feet and a Heartbeat is all you need.
It's a wonderful name.
Yep.
It is a simple idea, but genius.
At the same time.
Original and best guided walking tours in Perth and Freo. And joining us, as you said, the manager of 2 Feet and a Heartbeat, Ryan Zaknich. Hello, Ryan.
Good morning, all. How are we?
Very well, thank you. So, yes, as we said, congratulations on what's been a great endeavour. This is a great time of the year to do it as well. What are the tours that people can do?
Yeah, sun's out. Everyone's out again. It's a fantastic time of the year. We've got a whole bunch of different tours that we're running, and got some new ones in Perth and Fremantle that have been really popular. And in particular, dark tourism is actually a bit of a theme around the world at the moment. People are quite fascinated with sites like Chernobyl or the Killing Fields or Auschwitz, which are obviously very, very dark in the history, but there's a fascination with it. But crime and true crime. So we've got a Crimes of Perth tour that we're running on Saturdays, which has been extremely popular. And
crime tour.
Yeah, historical crimes, nothing too recent, not involving anyone currently in the news or anything like that. We go back a little bit further than that to early colonial times, and then kind of tap out around about the 1950s and 60s. So there are some things in there that people do know about, but we dug deep and found a lot of obscure crimes that add fabric to the city.
So not too creepy. I reckon they do some Ripper, Yorkshire Ripper, Jack the Ripper tours in Whitechapel in the UK. Not that bad.
Oh, can you imagine the positioning statement for that? Our crime tour, it's a Ripper.
Yeah. That's an earwig right there.
Yeah.
Maybe not politically correct, but obviously, like I say, this dark tourism is quite popular. I mean, you booked out over a month in advance for those ones.
Yeah, we launched it as some of our guides. We've got a great team of guides. We've got 12 different guides in the team, and a couple of them came forward and said, look, we're interested in kind of highlighting some of the stuff that we've come across over the years. Can we build it? So we've empowered a few of the guides to build this tour, and it struck a chord somewhere. People are really fascinated with the other side, if you know what I mean. And it's been enormously successful. So we're extending it on through the year as well.
Actually, I do vaguely remember watching a show on Foxtel called Dark Tourist. It was on Netflix or something. So yes, we are attracted to it.
There's actually, we're talking to Ryan Zaknich from 2 Feet and a Heartbeat, and I want to come back to that.
Yeah.
But Ryan, you might know about this, but I read, I'm sure somewhere, that you don't even pay for this, but there's a house in America run by a guy who I think is former army or something like that, and you basically sign up. There's a waiting list for this as well, and they kidnap you effectively and torture you.
I've seen this online.
Some people last like 10 minutes. But nobody makes it right through the entire experience yet, and they don't even charge you. They're just I don't know why someone would conduct.
There is a waiting list as long as your arm.
Yeah, and I don't know why someone would actually
kidnapped and held hostage in this place.
Yeah.
Society's full of all sorts of people, isn't it?
Society is. Yes, I have seen that. That is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
Sounds like, the premise for a horror movie, but it is a real thing. So the crime one, very popular at the moment. What else is really popular?
Fremantle's always really popular on the weekends.
Yes.
And we've been running historically orientated tours down there for about 10 years. And this summer we've incorporated that into what we do really well, which is food tourism. So we've got the Fremantle Food Lovers Tour on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, which still covers a lot of the fun historical side of Fremantle, which is pretty rich in stories, but this happens to tie it in with a ton of really good quality, locally orientated food and drink.
Well, I would suggest that in some ways a lot of Fremantle's history and food are a bit intertwined. I mean, especially when you think of the seafood industry and so on.
Yeah, obviously the Italians and Greeks communities, when they came in and created essentially the co-op down there and consolidated the industry down there, and they've made a big impression on how the town runs. So, we make sure we stop in at a well-established old Italian joint down there and get our belly full of penne alla arrabbiata and bolognese and other things, And
I remember, back in the day before we were all coffee experts, you really did have to go to Freo to get a good cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's probably the way it was accepted. And a lot of it had to do with the fact people were drinking on the streets. And the al fresco side of things brought coffee drinking. Coffee actually introduced into Perth in 1854 by an Englishman.
Right. Wow.
So it's well and
Who'd
truly
have
before the Italian. Yeah, he actually owned a hardware store in Hay Street. His name was Henry Saw. And which is a great name for a hardware store.
Yeah,
right?
is it?
But you can't write that stuff, right? You can't make that up.
Yeah.
And in the 1850s, as an Englishman, he came back with a coffee grinder, coffee roaster, coffee beans, and started selling it. Much like you'd go to Bunnings and get a hot dog, well, you'd go to his hardware store and get a coffee.
Right.
And the coffee started outstripping the hardware sales. And he opened Perth's first coffee palace.
Now, you know all this, of course, because coffee culture and art is one of the tours, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a morning tour, which people like because it's light on the history. It's not too academic. It's quite light on the fun history, but with a cup of coffee in your hand and a pastry at times, and an explore through some of the nooks and crannies and artwork, whether that's street art or more traditional art, classical art or sculptures. So it's a great way to get out and get a bit of orientation and an easy explore of the city with a quality cuppa in your hand.
Well, it makes sense that the coffee tour is in the morning, but is it frowned upon to do, say, the whiskey walking tour or the cocktail walking tour in the morning?
Not amongst me and my friends, but
okay.
I don't know about yours. No, that's definitely an evening
culture.
tour. Yeah, that's definitely an evening tour. There's a lot of really good, high quality whiskey establishments around town, and more opening all the time. So we've managed to link together a few of the really good quality places, supply some high quality whiskey from different parts of the world, including East Perth. Actually, there's a fantastic operator down there called Whippersnapper. Whippersnapper Distillery. Yeah, Al and the guys down there have been producing top quality whiskey, basically next to Claysbrook Station for a number of years, and it's received a ton of accolades, and it's right there down in East Perth.
Wow. Tell me, Ryan, do you get many group bookings? It could be a fun thing to do for a birthday or something like that.
Yeah, December was absolutely full of Christmas bookings. And all throughout the year, it's birthdays, it's visiting relatives, it's work functions, it's groups travelling in from overseas and parties of 8s and 10s wanting to do something as a group. So, yeah, it works really well as a group function.
So you've got a waiting list for some of your tours, but have you got a waiting list of people wanting to work there at 2 Feet and a Heartbeat?
Yeah, we do get quite a number of queries every week of people wanting to be guides, and we are quite particular in who we do employ. There's got to be a fine balance of great local knowledge and, of course, personality and other things that go with being a good host and a good guide. But yes, we're always on the lookout.
A good wrangler of the group.
A wrangler.
Yeah, exactly. Got to have good people skills, and got to be able to sheepdog people up.
Yeah. Are these tours, reasonably priced?
Yeah, they start from $35, and then they can go up to other extremes if you want to go completely down the custom toured line, where we'll build it from scratch, which we do a lot of.
Right.
There's one that caught my eye, which is the Fromage walking tour.
Oh, cheese.
Yes, yes. That one was actually, each year they're rebranding it this year, but it was always called the Eat, Drink, Perth Food Festival.
Yeah,
Before that, it was the Food and Wine Festival. They're rebranding it this year just to freshen it up a bit, but it's essentially the same event. And every year we launch a new food-orientated tour during that time. And last year we thought, we like our cheeses, Kukulis Brothers and Fromage. And so we launched that for 4 weeks, and that was in April last year, and we haven't stopped. So that one has been extremely popular, and it finishes up in the old, where the West Australia Club used to be on St George's Terrace, which was actually an old bank from early in the century, and they occupy the ground floor, so we end up in their bank vault behind.
Very cool.
In a bank vault, 2 metres of concrete, not locked in, we're safe, but with a bunch of good, high-quality cheese and drink.
Oh,
it's a
that's
lovely
cool
way to finish
and
up
cool.
Saturday evening.
Yeah.
That just sounds like heaven.
It does sound like heaven. So, look, how do people get in touch with you and get involved in one of these tours?
The easiest way is just to jump on our website, which is 2feet.com.au, and all the information and real-time availability is available right there.
Sounds fantastic.
And that is the word 2 feet, by the way,
yes,
as in TWA.
That is, yes. We spell our numbers.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us and filling us in this morning.
Pleasure, guys. Thanks very much for having us this morning.